Hi. Well, we're gonna do a video today on the process that I use, maybe different than others, on seasoning crucibles and melting dishes. It's not necessary, but what you'll find is when you use the melting dishes or crucibles without preconditioning them with borax or other fluxes, that a percentage of the metal wants to adhere to the crucible or dish because the surface is rough. And so myself, I use borax, and the effect that you get is when you melt your precious metal or copper or brass, whatever you're doing, and then when you pour it, the majority, if not all of the metal, just slips right out into the mold, not leaving any behind. With today's prices on gold and silver, you can't afford to generate a bunch of slag that's stuck. In fact, actually what I do, if I have some that get stuck into the porcelain, I'll crush it up and actually run it through the amalgamate process if there's enough. If there isn't enough, then I just let it go. Okay, enough of the talking head. I'm going to come around and we'll take a look at what I'm going to do today. This dish, this is well seasoned, very slippery, a glass coating. In fact, it's actually so thick that if I heat it up, I can actually get some of this to pour out. This dish, I was in a hurry and I didn't season it, and now I have metals are stuck into it, but I can try and just reheat it and get the metal molten and then start adding the flux to get it loose. This is what you get when you pour or melt a large piece of metal such as this. And then you walk away from it and you let it cool. When it came out, it actually broke out parts of the silica. So what I'm going to do with it today is I'm going to reheat it. It was a well-seasoned dish, and I'm going to re-season it. I use several types of torches. I use the Bernzomatic. This is a TS8000, which is so far the best and the most rugged that Bernzomatic puts out. And then I have my Smith oxygen and acetylene system that I use a number 3 welding tip and keep it toned down. I'll show today how I set the flame. You can get carried away with the flame and get it too hot and actually damage metal. So I'm going to get the camera zoomed in a little closer on that. And I'll try and stay out of the way. I'm going to do this process with propane torch, so I'm going to move this torch over to the side for now. When I heat a torch of any crucible or melting dish, I start from the outer edge apply a little heat to the bottom and continue up at the top in a circular motion. And the theory is might as well put on the gloves before I burn myself. I would hate to add that into the video. The heating from the top and the outer edge is going to give the material room to expand when you heat the bottom. The bottom is much thicker, so it's going to expand and you could generate cracks. This fire brick here, you find these fire bricks, they're 2300 degree bricks, you find them in woodstone. This fire brick is a 3000 degree brick. I make them myself. They've got a full metal border, a metal bed pan, and then I pour them with 3000 degree refractory. They make an excellent bed. Under that I have a piece of 5/8 thick aluminum as a diffuser, and then under that I have 3/4 expanded metal on a steel frame. I don't have to worry about catching my table on fire, but about 20% of this shop I dedicate to pyrotechnics, and 80% is for my artist canvas business, which is wood, sawdust, planer shaving. The two don't mix well. And what it is I retired and now I don't want to make artist canvas anymore. I want to play with fire, so I'm going to get rid of all of the canvas and wood and turn this into a full metal shop. The dish is starting to get warm, so we'll just throw in some sample of borax. And it's light and fluffy and it's going to fly around. That's just how it goes. What I need to do, the borax, which most people are familiar with the 20 mule, well wait a minute, not everyone's as old as I am. 20 multene borax, it's actually a laundry detergent additive. Absolutely one of the best fluxes for working with precious metals that I added to it. I've got some special fluxes that I mix up for working with gold and silver. Starting to build a nice glass finish in there. It's going to take a lot. I'm going to blow a lot out. But I don't have any precious metal in there, so. Starting to turn to glass. If I want to take this crucible up to yellow faster, I would use my oxygen and acetylene part. fill in all of the gaps and cover all of the bare portions. And now we have a nice little slippery shiny. Looks ugly, but it's not. That's the way that it needs to look. So to do a crucible, you would do exactly the same thing. It's coated inside, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this or not. But there is actually, that's actually silver that's stuck into the edge of the crucible. The crucibles are rough, and as you pour it out, the metal adheres to it, and then, like I say, I've been known to have to crush them up and do it. But that's how I do or season crucible. You don't need to season the outside or that, and already that is turned to glass. As you build that up, and as you flux metal, it's going to tend to build up really thick, and then all I do is I just heat it up before I put the next batch in there, and I just take it and pour it out, and I take my torch and use the flame of the torch to work the molten borax right out, and it pours right out the pour spout. I'm going to do another way of seasoning a crucible, so I'll reset up to do that.